Lisa Jackson, thanks for coming on Smart Money. Apple has made a commitment to use 100% renewable energy. How are you tracking with that? And is it saving Apple money on its energy bills?
We're at 100% in 24 countries, including Australia, and we're 96% worldwide. And yes, I can tell you that so far, those deals that we put together and everywhere we're using green power, it doesn't cost us money. It actually is on par with brown power or sometimes even cheaper.
Apple recently set up a company called Apple Energy. On weekends, you're going to have excess renewable energy. Is that company selling that?
Yeah, we did that for our new facility, Apple Park, which we'll be moving into shortly. There, because we have solar panels on the roof and on the parking garages and other renewable energy, we know on the weekends, as you say, we'll have more. So Apple Energy isn't so much about making a profit. It's the regulatory system here in California, which requires us to form a company to be able to sell that power back onto the grid so it's not wasted.
Apple Park, your new corporate campus, is going to be the largest LEED Platinum certified building in North America. What do you have to do to achieve that status?
A lot of things. LEED is a point system. Of course, the 100% renewable energy that will drive the campus is a big part of that. The fact that we're going to use recycled water as often as 75% of the water needs will be actually recycled water, so not fresh water from the ground. The fact that we reused almost all of the material from the old buildings that were on the campus in making the new buildings. So we didn't just cart that material away. The fact that we actually have a breathing building, we call it, where the building is designed to have air come into the building at a pretty high rate, get cooled if needed by passing over cool concrete with pipes in it, with water pipes, and then out the other side. So we're told that when you sit in the building, you'll actually feel sort of like we feel right now.
As you know, when the iPhone first came out, some environmentalists were a bit concerned as to whether it was recyclable or not. Now, I understand that you've pulled together the Apple design team, the engineering team, and you've come up with a recycling robot called Liam. Tell us about Liam. What does it do?
Liam has a personality of his own now, but he takes apart iPhone 6s. And he was a pilot project. We'll have more to talk about with Liam quite soon. I might be getting some friends, but the idea was, listen, the first step in being able to really recycle these phones is to get the components apart so you know exactly what you have in each bin. So you have a bin of vibrator motors, a bin of cameras, a bin of cover glass. And then you can start to work with our brilliant scientists and our supply chain on trying to get those materials back into productive use, not thrown into a landfill.
Given Apple's success, you're now selling hundreds of millions of iPhones and computers, which all need high-quality packaging made out of cardboard and paper. How do you ensure that you're using recycled paper and paper that's certified, for example, by the FSC?
Well, you have to start with the science and the technology. For such a long time, the majority of material that goes into any electronics product just comes from mining. We're challenging ourselves, if you will, to mine from what's already out in the world, our own products. We know we use high quality aluminum. So last year we actually completed a project where we use aluminum to make Mac Minis for our factories. That's all recycled from old products. And we have some great work going on tin. Tin is used in our products as solder. And we're trying to use only recycled tin. So you can imagine you have two challenges: buying recycled material out in the free market, in the commodities market, but also putting material back into supply.
How do you go about getting your supply chain to share your values, to start using renewable energy, to become more sustainable in their operations?
Yeah, over 99% of the material in our packaging for all our products is either recycled material or certified as being from renewable sources, like FSC certification, which we use. In addition, we also preserve and protect an amount of forest around the world, here in the United States and in China so far, equal to the footprint of the forest that we impact through our virgin paper use. So I think both are really important. And thanks for bringing up forestry, because it's such an important issue. And certainly, with packaging, it's really important for us to be mindful of it.
Talking of recycling, are you managing to use any recycled content in your products?
You know, when you look at the manufacture of one of our products, it takes, energy. And so if we really want to tackle climate change and our carbon footprint, we have to tackle that part of the supply chain. So a few years ago, we announced that we were going to start a supply chain clean energy program. And we had a goal of 4 gigawatts of new clean energy on the grid by 2020. We've already got commitments for over half of that. We already have 8 suppliers around the world who've committed 100% of their energy for Apple production will be renewable by next year. So we're seeing suppliers want to be part of this. They know that Apple is innovative. They love the idea of being part of the green supply chain movement. And we're finding a lot of synergy between the two of us.
I was really surprised to see you've got about 20,000 individual components in Apple products. How do you ensure that none of those have got harmful ingredients?
Testing. The first you have to specify the ingredients that you want in the products, and certainly the ones you don't want. Apple's also been testing each one of those components to understand precisely what is in it, because a lot of the regulations in the world forbid you from putting something in, but how do you know what else might have sort of taken a ride along with, say, the copper or the tin or the tantalum that's in your product? So a lot of testing. And then Apple runs labs right here in Cupertino and in other parts of the world to test the components as they come in. It's a huge issue for compliance, but it's also part of our responsibility to our customers. We did a video this year on testing watch bands with artificial sweat. We make sweat here at Apple so that we can subject these watch bands to sweat and simulate what would happen as you work out in your Apple Watch. So it takes sort of engineering rigor and testing.
Final question. You've been on a sustainability journey for some time now at Apple. It's been incredibly successful. What have you learned through that journey that you can share with other companies? What could they learn from you?
I think you will find that if you engage your workforce in this, you will not have a shortage of ideas or enthusiasm for the work. I think you'll also find it's easier than you think it is. And one of the things we keep saying is once you learn how to do it, share it with a business that might be somewhere further in your supply chain, maybe a small business that can't afford to pay for the engineering studies. But I think the most important thing is to remember what, probably your grandmother told you, which is reduce how much material you use, cut down on waste, and whenever possible, recycle and use recycled materials. If we all do those things, including with energy, I think we'll be in a better spot.